everyone, happy Easter weekend. Just doing an all signs reading for you today. We are going to be looking at one of the big themes for Easter, which is family. See what's going on with family for you. Now, family, when I do these readings, it's not just blood family, okay? This is whatever you consider to be family for yourself. All right, so whether that's family consisting of friends or non-blood relatives, that sort of thing as well. All right, definitely taking that into account. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Make sure you leave a comment on the video. Last chance to enter for that free personal reading. I will be drawing the winner of that after tomorrow's video. So make sure you do leave a comment so you can go in the draw to win a free personal reading. Today I'm using the old style Lenormand as well as the Wild Child Oracle deck. I know that's a very pastel-y coloured one, blends in with my background, but the cards themselves have a lot more colour. But as always, taking timestamps, which will be in the description box, so you're more than welcome to check out multiple timestamps if you need to as well. Okay, so starting us off today with Aries. Okay, Aries, what's going on for our Aries over Easter with family? What does Aries need to know in regard to family? We have opportunity, the gazelle jumping the waterfall there, Aries. So sort of leaping into the unknown a little bit with issues around family for yourself, especially over Easter here. I do feel as though Easter is actually bringing a specific opportunity for you when it comes to connecting to your family. And I'm kind of feeling that for a couple of you, family may actually be presenting you with a specific opportunity over Easter as well. So it's feeling like maybe just one person in particular here, where someone within your family may actually be presenting you with like a business opportunity to somehow be involved more or for a start in some sort of family related business, or they're wanting you to come on board and help them out with their business or something along those lines. So I am picking up on that, but it does feel like it's only for maybe one of you. But it's definitely some sort of, an opportunity to connect and spend time. I feel for a lot of you, it's not often we get time away from the world and whatnot. This year seems to have been a pretty busy one for a lot of people. So it's definitely giving you that opportunity to just sort of sit back and relax and chill and leap into some stuff with your family. A lot of you may be doing sort of adventurous type stuff with family here. Giving you the opportunity to get to know people within the family on a different level as well. But we'll have a look with the Lenormand here. Aries, what does Aries need to know in regard to family? Firstly, we have the stars coming through. So a lot of good guidance here, moving towards the things that you have hoped for within the family unit. So, if you've been hoping to strengthen connections and those sorts of things, we're definitely moving towards those sorts of things. We do have the birds coming through as well, followed by the fox energy. So I do feel for a couple of you, there is a bit of a gossipy energy about you yourself, Aries. People sort of talking about you without necessarily... It doesn't feel like it's a bad thing, though. It's kind of like people talking and a little bit gossipy, a little bit chattery about, Aries, you're so independent. Aries, you're so willing to do whatever's necessary. You're so, kind of self-sufficient. I feel as though this is actually something people are looking up to, and that's why we are seeing that stars, because it's kind of like you don't realize that these people see that as a really good quality about you, and they in fact admire that about you, that you kind of are able to stand on your own 2 feet, and that's why I feel like this is an opportunity for you to connect to these people on a different kind of a level, because even though it is coming through as a little bit chitter chatter, table talk kind of gossipy energy there. It's actually more to do with like, oh wow, we really admire you, Aries, and we look up to you, and we see you as very intelligent and rational, and you're the one that will do what needs to be done, and you're kind of realizing that people are in admiration of that, and wanting that own independence and self-sufficiency, for their own skills, and that sort of a thing, kind of asking, how do you do this? How do you do that? Asking for your advice a lot here. And so it actually kind of does, give you an opportunity to strengthen those relationships, and to understand, like to kind of see yourself through a different set of eyes as well, Aries, and understand that, your placement in the family is much more revered than you kind of realize, that there's a lot of people that do sort of see you with as someone who does sort of reach towards their goals, and they see you as someone to admire, that you're kind of the star of the show here, even though, and they're kind of like, oh, we all wish Aries would be more involved with us, I suppose, because you're in this fox energy, you're very independent, and you're just doing your own thing, whereas with the stars there, it's kind of like they see you as the star of the show, and they want to be involved a lot more with that gossipy, chattery type energy. They want to be a lot more involved in your life, and being able to sort of follow the lead that you're setting, I suppose. They see you jumping those waterfalls, and they want to learn how to do that for themselves, Aries. So I feel like this is an opportunity for you to sort of realize that you are actually a lot more of a role model within your family unit than you may realize that you are. So it helps strengthen those relationships, and give you a bit of that self-worth, give you just a little bit of a, oh, I didn't realize that kind of thing, and move on in a positive way. But that's what we have for you. You are more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Make sure you leave that comment so you go in the draw for that free personal reading, and we will move on over to our Taurus. Okay. Taurus, what does Taurus need to know in regard to family? What does Taurus need to know in regard to family? Okay, so we have the crescent moon coming through, there. So it's kind of like very interesting energy, because you're not feeling empty, but you're not feeling full either. You're not feeling like a total blank moon, but you're kind of on that in between here, Taurus. I do feel as though for some of you, you kind of, this crescent energy is kind of a mending, kind of patching kind of energy, that you may need to be the middleman, so to speak, within family gatherings, that you're the middle of the fullness and then the emptiness. So you're the one where they need to that help to meet in the middle. So I do feel straight away that for some of you, you're kind of the person that everyone's looking towards to, really bring the two sides of the family together, especially if there is any, family arguments and that sort of a thing. Everyone kind of looking to you to be the one to find the middle ground and help these people find the middle ground. So it kind of just feels like you're getting a little bit stuck in the middle of it all, to be honest, Taurus. But I will sort of have a deeper look here with the lenormand. Taurus, what does Taurus need to know in regard to family? What's going on for Taurus with family, please? I do keep hearing the phrase family issues as well. So I do feel, there is, you're the emotional component, definitely. You're the one that helps find the emotional stability here, because we do have the house coming through. So definitely seeing family issues here. In the middle, we have the moon. Once again, another crescent moon coming through here. So that's you in the middle here. And then we have the anchor on the other side. So on both sides of your energy here, we do have very, very sort of solid, immovable kind of energy. The house and the anchor, they don't move. They're very solid. They're very stuck in, I feel like this person here, whoever this is, they're a little bit stuck in their rut kind of energy. They do get a little bit stuck on a theme kind of thing, whereas this one seems to be, more worried about they do seem to have some insecurities that this is flaring up, and you're the one here in the middle, you know, trying to find the middle ground, trying to find the peace, and that's probably a good clue for you here with these two people, that they're both very immovable forces. They're both very solid and structured in the way that they hold their beliefs and themselves. So you know, that's something that they actually have in similar, that they are, you know, both very strong, stable forces. But then when they're in collision, it can be where we see a lot of difficult energy. This person here does feel like they're a little bit stuck in their ways, so to speak, whereas this person is more about, you know, what's good for the entire family. They're seeming to take a lot more into consideration than just, you know, this one who's a little bit, you know, they do get a bit weighed down by their own self sometimes. They get a bit stuck in the mud kind of energy. They just kind of get stuck on one little, you know, they get stuck on something, and then that's what's, you know, exacerbating the situation, because they just get so stuck in their own little mindset that they can't find the middle ground. Whereas, you know, it's kind of like everyone looking to you, Taurus, to find that middle ground. Advising here to you is to sort of, you know, really trust your intuition with this situation, and try to show these two people their commonalities, and the things that they're both standing strongly for are actually very, very similar. They're just doing it in slightly different ways. You know, and then you here in the middle, you're the one with, you know, it does get you a little bit emotional, not going to lie, being stuck in the middle like that. There is a lot of emotional sensitivity here, but you seem to be able to, you know, go between the two here, and you know, take the emotional sensitivity away from them a little bit in order to help them find that middle ground where, you know, we're seeing the beauty in the argument, if that kind of makes sense. So a bit of a rough energy for you here over Easter, not going to lie. You really are sort of being a little bit stuck in the middle with the family, I feel, over Easter. It just seems to be two particular people who are very sort of set and stuck in their ways, and very, you know, very rigid. You know, this one here we do see as more rigid, structured type person, whereas this one is like I said, very sort of stuck in their ways, and is very much like, no, it's got to be done this way. It's always got to be done this way. Whereas this one's very much like, but like, it makes more sense to do it this way. It's logical. You know, everything's in its place. This one does seem a little bit more ordered, whereas this one is just very stuck on their own mindset of this is what it should be like. So I don't know exactly what's going on there, but you're kind of a little bit stuck in the middle. But it does seem as though you are the only one that can sort of interpret the emotional component of whatever's going on here, and pull these people out of their butts a little bit, to be completely honest, Taurus, and help them find that middle ground. It does seem to be you. So sorry to put that on your shoulders, but that's what we have for you, Taurus. You are more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. Make sure you do leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading, getting drawn very, very soon. So definitely leave a comment so you get an entry in. And we will move on over to our Geminis. Okay, moving on to our Geminis. Gemini, what's going on for Gemini over Easter with family? What does Gemini need to know in regard to family? Glimpse. That's a very interesting energy, Gemini. This is kind of like seeing a glimpse of the future, seeing a glimpse of what the future could hold for yourself. You know, we do see, you know, there is the two figures here in the shadows watching this star. Okay, so the star's representing hopes and dreams, and, you know, the things that we wish for and desire for our own life. And this glimpse is like, it's kind of like looking up to somebody within your own family as, you know, it's not envy. It's not envy, but it's like envy in a good way. Like you're looking at them as a bit of a role model for what you wish to achieve within your life. It's kind of like you're saying, oh, well, you know, when I get to that age, I would like to have that for myself. And you know, the idea of looking at a couple within the family unit and being like, when I want to grow old with my partner the way that I see, you know, these people in the family growing old together. So it's kind of like seeing a glimpse of your own future in the family unit, within someone within your family here. So it's kind of showing you a glimpse. And for a couple of you, it's going the other kind of way as well. Like you're seeing a glimpse of what you do not want. It's kind of this glimpse of, all right, well, you know, I know that if I don't want to end up like that person in the family, that I need to make better choices than what they have made in their history, you know. So it's really giving you a glimpse of the future so that you can either avoid or steer towards those things for yourself. All right, so it's kind of going both ways. Some of you, it's you know, I want to avoid these things, and others of you, it's you know, so that I can steer towards those things. Because I'm sort of picking up that for someone in particular, it's like seeing like an elderly grandparent couple type thing, and like, oh, you know, I want my love with my partner to be that strong when I'm that age, you know. And you know, I'm seeing like a cutesy little old couple sort of thing, you know, where, you know, they're in their 80s or 90s even, and they're still got just as much love for each other. So, and I'm seeing that, you know, some of you looking at that like, oh, I want that for myself one day. And then I am also seeing somebody in the family that has made bad choices. So this is for other parts of the collective here. Someone in the family who has made bad choices and ended up in a not so happy place in their life. And you're kind of looking at that like, well, you know, my life could easily turn into that as well. So I'm really wanting to avoid that. I am also picking up, just for one of you here, we are looking at somebody with a health issue you know, whoever we're looking at, they're older than you. I keep getting that you're looking upward at someone older than you. And for someone here, it's like a health related thing. You're looking at someone like, well, you know, that particular health condition runs in the family. I need to take steps now to avoid, you know, exacerbating that condition's potential in myself. So, you know, like, if your family has a history of diabetes, for example, and you're looking at someone in the family with, you know, diabetes, and you're kind of going, oh, well, look, I really need to make sure I'm taking care of my blood sugars and eating the right things, you know, to prevent myself, you know, getting diabetes, that kind of thing. Like, I know that that's not exactly how it all kind of works medically, but I'm not a medical professional, but that's what I'm kind of just picking up for somebody there as well. And as well as someone that's like looking at the way that someone has aged, I am picking up on that as well. That does feel like whoever that is for, it feels like you're Australian like me. Because it does feel as though you're kind of looking at somebody and seeing the damage that they've done to their skin, specifically from sun exposure. And so it's kind of making you go, oh, okay, I don't want to be like that. I'm going to put some sunscreen on. I am hearing a lot of Australian kind of phrases coming through with that. So I do feel as though that is specifically somebody who is Australian looking at somebody with sun damage, somebody older than them with sun damage. Okay, so, you know, as we all probably know, Australia, you know, we do have some of the biggest numbers of skin cancers in the world because of how much sun we have here in Australia. But Gemini, what does Gemini need to know in regard to family? Yeah, so it's kind of it's the heart is on the bottom in the hidden energy. So it's like, you know, we love these people, but you know, we do need to, we have the bear behind that as well, but we do need to have firm boundaries with these people. I do feel as though the message that's coming through, the glimpse that we're seeing is for, you know, it's not really wanting to talk too much more about those of you where we're looking at someone and going, oh, look how sweet they are, look how lovely that is. All right, it's specifically coming through clarifying the more, I suppose, negative glimpse that we're seeing of the future, because we're trying to prevent that from happening to ourselves. All right, because we are seeing, you know, the family tree. So we are seeing, you know, the ancestral line. We are seeing health issues coming through with this tree as well. The way that we're taking care of ourselves, you know, to avoid the loss of, you know, to lose the potential for the trouble. All right, we have the mice and then the whip here. So we do see, like, it's definitely coming through with preventing loss of something, loss of eyesight, loss of, you know, I'm once again, I'm seeing the skin stuff coming through with, you know, losing, like having to actually get, you know, pieces cut off our skin for, you know, like skin cancers and things like that. You know, the mice takes things away. It takes, and I am getting a strong ancestral health related energy with that tree there. And it's all about, you know, the way that you're taking care of yourself, and needing to take better care of yourself to avoid these potential dramas and stress and tension in the future. All right, so it's really wanting to point that out to you here, Gemini, that you know, that there is the opportunity for you to see this glimpse of your own future, and you know, prevention is better than the cure. So it's giving you this information so that you can prevent yourself being affected by those same issues in the future. All right, so it's really giving you this glimpse of how things could go for you, specifically so that you can stop it from happening to you as well. You know, and avoiding the trouble, avoiding having to lose your eyesight, or lose those patches of skin, or lose. I'm getting mastectomy stuff for someone here as well. So it's some pretty severe health related stuff for a lot of you here. But it's also, there is also a little connection here for some of you about the way that we're taking care of ourselves, and the stress. Stress seems to be a big potential future issue here, like tension, stress, trouble. I feel like there is someone here that is looking at this glimpse, is at looking at someone who's had a lot of, you know, trouble with the family, and you know, it's taken from their connection to the family, and you're kind of saying, well, I don't want to lose my place in the family, the way that that person is now kind of, you know, it does feel like they're kind of like it's not necessarily outcast, but they're just, you know, the family's on guard a little bit more about this person. I feel like it's somebody that, you know, has stirred drama in the past, that maybe have stolen from the family. They have, you know, they've caused drama, and they've caused fighting within the family. And you're kind of looking at that, well, like, I need to take better care of my family so that that doesn't happen to us, kind of thing, or my involvement in the family. So it's an opportunity for a glimpse of the future, so you know how to avoid or take steps towards certain things in the family situations, to, you know, better your own future here. So it is actually, you know, a glimpse in order to make your future a better version of what you're seeing. All right, so that's what we have for you, Gemini. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Leave a comment so you go in the draw for that free personal reading, and we will move on over to our Cancers. Okay, Cancer. Cancer, what does Cancer need to know in regard to family? What does Cancer need to know in regard to family? Ephemeral. That's a hard word to say. Ephemeral. All right. It's kind of like translucent light. All right. I even do actually have the light card at the bottom of the deck. The ephemeral is like, it's the layer of, it's like a translucence, like a it's hard to explain, really, to be honest here, but it's like you can kind of see the bug's wings. They're very ephemeral. They're like kind of, in a way, it's like out of this world, kind of angelic, kind of beyond in some kind of way. So there is, you're seeing through something. You're seeing through something, but with a very positive sheen. It's a very shiny, satiny type sheen over whatever you're seeing through here. So we are sort of looking at, it's kind of like those rose tinted glasses kind of energy, but you're sort of seeing, kind of feels like I'm getting this message about all the cogs and the way that all the cogs fit perfectly together and how everybody works really perfectly together in unison. And so you're kind of like seeing beyond the family unit, and you're kind of seeing, how everything fits together perfectly. And you're putting a bit of it does feel like a bit of a spiritual shine over the way that things fit together within the family for you here. Definitely needing to clarify that energy for you here, Cancer. Cancer, what's going on for Cancer with family? There's been some trouble. It's kind of wanting us to know that I think that's why you're seeing through things and seeing the translucence energy, because there has been some trouble and some infighting in the past here. We have the whips, tension, drama, conflict within the family. We do have the mountain showing us that you have had a lot of, things have been delayed and there has been some obstacles because of this fighting in the family. But it feels like, everyone is sort of putting in the hard work and trying to work better as a team in order to get through that. We do have the coffin coming through there as well. So for some of you, it may be connected to, people dealing with a death in the family very harshly and having to sort of work through that to regain the family unit as a whole and to sort of work together again. But we are seeing the ending to the coffin does talk about an ending. So we are seeing an ending to these obstacles, to the delays, to the trouble, that's been there. And we are sort of finally getting over that and being able to sort of put all that energy to good use into, other things in the family. So I feel as though that's what you're kind of seeing through here is the fact that we have been through a very tumultuous time as a family. And we are, starting to get to brighter days. We are starting to, it's kind of given everybody this sheen of, well, if we can survive that and we put in the work to get back to a positive place and we've done that, well, then, this family can actually, get back on its feet again and transform into new things and focus on the new energy. It's kind of like working as a team together to get through some stuff. The trouble that has ended and has passed us by, that we now know that we're stronger together as a unit, and you're kind of seeing through like, wow, so maybe some of that hard stuff, did kind of happen for a reason here, because in the end it strengthened the family rather than broke the family. These hard, these dramas, these tensions, these conflicts that we've had to work our way through, they've actually brought us together closer in a different kind of a way, made us all understand and work together differently. So you're kind of seeing through the layers of what's been happening in the past. I feel like for a lot of you, it may even be the past few years with the family here. And seeing that this is actually an opportunity now for the family to really focus on some positive stuff. All right, so pretty straightforward message there, Cancer. You are more than welcome to check through the other placements, of course. Make sure you subscribe as well as leave a comment to go in the draw for that free personal reading. And we will move on over to our Leos. Okay, Leo, what's going on for Leo with family? What does Leo need to know in regard to family? Leo. Shadow. Okay, very interesting, Leo. We do find that it's maybe a bit of a rough time for you at the moment when it comes to family, because, you know, when we're seeing the shadow stuff coming through, we are sort of starting to become aware of, you know, the work that we still need to do, the darker sides of ourself that we need to assimilate and accept and move through, you know, a bit of healing and that sort of stuff. So for some of you, this might be a bit of a rougher time when it comes to family, not going to lie. You may also be seeing the darker sides of the family as a unit as well, like sort of that sort of thing where, you know, the foundations that have been laid within the family, and the way that those things have sort of taught us all to be a certain way, act a certain way. Those things might be coming to the surface a little bit at the moment, but we'll definitely have a look here with the lenormand and see how that's translating for you. Leo, what does Leo need to know right now in regard to family? Interesting. Like, it's not coming through as negative as the shadow stuff would normally come through. Firstly, we have the garden energy, so definitely the need to compromise, to be maybe a little bit more sociable within your family unit. So it maybe a time to, rather than focus on the negative stuff, which we see arising with the shadow stuff here, it might be a good time for you to actually see things from somebody else's perspective, get in somebody else's shoes. We do see, you know, events taking place that may lead you to more understanding and compassion for others in the family. We have the dog there. The dog is, you know, those platonic relationships, those friendships, those the way that we are loyal and compassionate to people within the family, the way that family is loyal to money for some of you as well. We have the fish here. So for some of you, that may be part of what we're needing to compromise on. Part of that shadow work energy coming through here, Leo, may be sort of this awareness of the way that certain people or the family as a whole place money and materialism, wealth, as important. And maybe that's part of what's coming through here for you, is about sort of trying to understand from other people's perspectives and trying to meet people in the middle a little bit more here. You know, I am picking up that with the garden there may be an event that the family is talking about over Easter or Easter itself, where it's kind of that energy of an expectation of certain, you know, monetary value, I suppose. So I'm kind of picking up here, Leo, that for some of you, it's like family talking about an event that has taken place or is going to take place, like a wedding, for example, just as an example here, where, you know, it's very much like, well, so and so spent X amount on their wedding. You've got to outshine that. You've got to spend more. You've got to, you know, make yours look more luxurious. I am just picking up on this energy of money, having the materialism side of things, this keeping up with the Joneses type energy. This energy too of like even just Easter itself, of like, oh, look at how many, you know, look at how many Easter eggs so and so's children got given. How come yours don't have as much? Or, you know, those kinds of little picky things, materialistic type energies. We're going to go to this restaurant for Easter, and it's like a high class, without, you know, I feel as though it's kind of certain people in the family not necessarily taking into consideration the other people in the family, you know, because everyone's coming from different, you know, abilities to spend monetarily, and not really valuing certain things the way that you may value things, or maybe you're the one who is, you know, valuing monetary stuff a little bit more, and you're kind of maybe being a little bit judgmental here, and that's what the shadow is wanting you to look at, is that, you know, oh, why doesn't so and so spend as much on Easter as what I have, you know, and it's that really needing to be a little bit more understanding and compassionate towards other members of the family. You know, I feel it's, you know, meeting others halfway, compromising and doing things that suit everybody's budget, not just your own, and everybody's way of love languages as well is coming through. So like somebody may be a very big gift giver, and so they have a very lavish Easter spread where they give and give and give a lot of things, whereas you might be somebody like, well, I'm not giving as much because, I had to travel so far to get here, or, I gave time and effort rather than monetary, and to you that's balanced, but to others it may not be as visibly balancing. So it's really sort of taking all those things into account and really trying to find middle ground with each and every person here, and take the monetary value off it. And I'm just kind of feeling that there may even just need to be just a little conversation about, like, look, I understand that you're in XYZ position, but this is my position. Can we just try to find some sort of middle ground here where, both of those things are being taken into account equally, that I'm able to give more time, more love, more energy, whereas you're more able to give monetary value, whereas, you're not giving as much time, energy. So just maybe a conversation needing to take place there in regard to those sorts of things here. And that's what the shadow is coming through here, that I do feel for some of you it's coming from that shadow of, the foundation of the family. And we do have different foundations within even just different family members, like even within the one family, there's different foundations that have been set, because me personally, I'm an eldest child. So the foundation that I've been raised with is different to what it is for, my younger siblings. They've always been a little bit more protected and coddled, whereas I was always a little bit more have to take responsibilities and put in a little bit more work because I was the eldest child, so things like that do make a difference in the way that somebody's foundation is presented, and so we need to really take all those things into consideration and try to find middle ground and compromise and understanding and compassion for the other foundations that have that are all coming together, especially times like Easter, when family do sort of conjoin and you've got so many different personalities and so many different backgrounds and so many different, the new partners from a different foundation and, all these sorts of things all coming into play here. So it's as a whole, the family needing to try to compromise and get on a middle ground that suits everybody, not just one or two members of the family here, Leo. So that may be a bit of a theme for you over Easter. All right, but that's what we're seeing for you. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements. Make sure you leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. And we will move on over to our Virgos. Okay, Virgo, what's going on for Virgo over Easter with family? Virgo, what does Virgo need to know right now in regard to family? Obviously that one, Virgo. We have the trove, the treasure trove coming through. It's not focusing very well on that card today, but we do see all the little treasures up here behind this crow. We all know crows like shiny things. So it's kind of like looking at the treasure that is around you and surrounds you and finding the shiny things in amongst all the grass. I suppose that there's a lot of treasure to be found here for you, Virgo, within moments, within your family and within people within your family. There's a lot of little shiny things that, it just feels as though you're not maybe recognizing as much. And so this is really a time for you to really be paying attention to, collecting all those little bits and pieces together so that as a whole we have this giant treasure chest full of beautiful shiny things, and we're really, really focusing on the positive things within the family members and within, like I'm getting different skills, different abilities, different ways of thinking, different personalities, all that sort of stuff all coming into play here to create this very sort of rich tapestry of treasure that can be found for you around yourself for Easter. Okay, Virgo. I know that's a bit, what's the word? I can't think of the word now, but we'll see what the lenormand wants to add for you. Virgo, what does Virgo need to know in regard to family? What does Virgo need to know in regard to family? Maybe that's why we're needing to focus on the trove and the treasures and the beautiful little shiny things about each and every person that we're spending time with over Easter, because we do have the stork coming through, which is, you know, stirring things up a little bit. Not going to lie, it does stir things up a little bit, especially with the moon coming through on the back of that. We do see the thing getting stirred up here is probably everybody's emotions. We're probably going to be seeing heightened emotions for your family members around Easter time. But those in themselves are part of the trove, a part of the beautiful tapestry of this family is that you're all comfortable enough to bring those emotions to the surface with each other. We also have the Tower. All right, so it's kind of stirring up, you know, the way that the emotional foundation has been set. So there's a lot of emotions at the surface, but it's kind of like, you know, the emotions make you feel a little bit isolated, but when you actually stop and look around and see that it's just part of this tapestry, it's just another little gemstone, you know, that you are holding right now with emotion. Someone else is holding another gemstone of emotion, and when they all come together, they actually make this really beautiful little story and can help each other amplify each other's beauty. But you know, there is a tendency here for I feel the family to kind of isolate themselves a little bit when it comes to especially emotions at the surface. And so when things do get stirred up, there may be, maybe it's just a couple of people specifically in the family that do tend to isolate and try to, you know, maybe even exert their authority. But that's kind of part of the foundation of this family, is that, you know, the emotions are part of this tapestry of what makes it so beautiful. Because you stop and think about, you know, every time those emotions are at the surface and these emotions getting stirred up here, they wouldn't be getting stirred up if they didn't, you know, if we didn't all mean something. You know, if for example, if somebody in particular, if their emotions are getting stirred up over something, they wouldn't be getting stirred up. They wouldn't care. If they didn't care, they wouldn't actually, it wouldn't affect them emotionally if they didn't care. So the emotions are actually this jewel that makes you realize how much these people care. So these emotions getting stirred up and these emotions at the surface actually are the gem, because they show us that regardless of how separate and isolated these people may try to keep themselves from all the drama and whatnot, that the emotions wouldn't be there if they didn't care so deeply. You know, that those emotions are coming from a place of, hang on, I actually care about this. You know, because when we don't care about something, it's not going to make us, you know, one way or another emotionally, is it? It's not going to trigger us, and it's not going to, you know, it's not going to trigger us and make us feel angry. It's not going to trigger us and make us feel happy. It's, you know, there's no emotions connected to things that we don't care about. So it's kind of letting us know that, you know, the emotions getting stirred up kind of are what shows us that we all come from the same foundation here, and that we all have that deep connection of understanding and care for each other here, and that in itself is kind of a bit of a treasure. You know, so it's kind of a weird energy here, Virgo, not going to lie. Just one more for Virgo in regard to family, please. Yeah, we have the cross there. So once again, it's all coming from, you know, this sense of duty, this sense of responsibility, and that's why the emotions are so close to the surface at the moment. I do feel for a lot of you, the ability to stir up emotions so easily within your family. It's kind of part of that treasure trove of, you know, if you can stir up the negative emotions that easily, you can also stir up the positive emotions that easily between the family as well. and that shows us that there is a very deep sort of spiritual connection between the family as a whole, and that we can just trust that this is for a reason, and that it does actually, it's kind of that energy of conflict brings us closer, because we it's a shared energy. It's not just a solo energy as such, and it creates stronger foundations in the future, and strengthens our belief in one another. I do feel as though for some of you that with the cross coming through there as that extra card, that that's part of what's getting stirred up, and why the emotions are getting stirred up is religious beliefs. And that's part of the trove once again, is that if we were all the same, how boring would our family be? These gemstones in the back, they're not all identical. We've got blue, we've got red, we've got gold, we've got, pearls and shells and shiny things, all in different, everything shines, but in different ways. So, it's kind of, but once again, it makes up this beautiful tapestry, or when it all comes together. So it's kind of appreciating the differences as well here, and appreciating each isolated gemstone has a part to play in the tapestry of this family. So it's appreciating everyone's care, even when they show it in emotionally charged ways. So it's kind of finding that. I do feel it's coming back through again here, Virgo, of it's very important to know that, if you can stir up someone's emotions and get somebody, cranky, you can stir them up emotionally in a positive way as well. So that's coming back through to the forefront there. But that's what we have for you. You are more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Make sure you leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. And we will move on over to our Libras. Okay, Libra, happy Easter. What is going on for our Libras with family? Libra, what does Libra need to know in regard to family? Slumber. Okay, we do see the big red fox here with the feminine tucked away there. Slumber, so it's taking rest and resting, using this Easter period as a kind of restful period, and an opportunity to just chill. Not gonna lie, a lot of people I've been talking to this Easter, that's kind of the plan, to just have a lazy Easter, a chill kind of Easter, to really get the rest that we need. And I feel as though that's what's going on for you with family at the moment. Is the fox does have a bit of a shapeshifter quality here, where it's matching in when we need to match in, and blending in with the family when we need to. But this year it's really about just restfulness, and not, it's not for you, Libra, it's not the Easter to stir up trouble. It's not the Easter to get involved in any of the family fights. It's just kind of like chill, just sitting back and enjoying it, and using it as a point of reference to relax yourself, and just feel relaxed and safe and cozy in the family at the moment, regardless of what's going on within the family. Just taking this as a point of reference to just enjoy and just sleep on it. It is telling me here as well that if there is any dramas for you with the family at the moment, just sleep on it. It's not something that needs to be dealt with right here, right now. Right now, we're just shifting our energy into a very restful, peaceful energy with the family. Libra, and just feeling safe, even if you're like me, you've got a very crazy family. It's just feeling safe in that, and just it's just an opportunity for me to just chill and just be myself. I don't have to be anyone else. I can just relax and not even worry. I can just enjoy this break. The Easter weekend. I don't know what it's like for other countries, but here in Australia, we have public holidays, and for a lot of people, it's just an opportunity to just do nothing. Like, we've been working so hard all year, and we know that we're going to have to go back to work next week, and all those sorts of things. So if nothing else, this is a great time to catch up on some sleep. All right, Libra. What does Libra need to know in regard to family? I'm hearing to somebody here, it's like, that's what you're doing. You're like, okay, you guys can go and you're looking after the kids, you know, trusting your family to just look after the kids, and I'm going back to bed. I'm taking the advantage of having you all here so I can go back to bed, and it's your turn to take care of the kids today. I'm hearing someone saying that as well. I do feel we do have the garden coming through. So it does talk about, you know, compromising, you know, just relaxed social events. You know, I do feel as though that's a very relaxed social kind of energy. Just all sort of hanging out, having lunch, and just, you know, it's very interesting because it does feel like, you know, the garden comes through in a few different kinds of ways, but this does feel very relaxed and sociable, just kind of, you know, having a long lunch, having a brunch, or, you know, just sitting around the garden, just relaxing. It does feel very relaxing and peaceful here. But we do see here the moon coming through. I do feel as though, you know, at night for some of you here, that's when you maybe this year, Libra, choosing to sort of just sleep through the nights kind of thing, rather than getting involved in family stuff during the nighttime. I'm picking up a very strong daytime energy for you with family at the moment, that, you know, the strength of the relaxing energy of spending just relaxing days with the family is kind of overshadowing this night energy with the moon there, that, you know, once the moon comes out, it's time for you to go, yeah, no, that's it, I'm out. I'm not doing anything this year. I'm not getting involved with the family stuff this year, because it's kind of like your family gets a bit emotional at night time. Like, maybe it's because, you know, after that big long lunch, everyone you know, starts to have a few drinks into the nighttime there, and gets a little bit more rowdy and a bit more emotional, because that is the card of emotions here. I feel like you're kind of sitting out the nighttime this year, and you're just like, I'm just going to relax and chill during the days, and I'm not needing to you know, get too involved in the nighttime activities with the family. Like, I do feel as though that's when the family gets a little bit more wild and emotional, is at the nighttime for you this year, and you're kind of just opting out of that, to be honest. We do see the lady coming through here as well, so I feel like that's you just looking after yourself and just nurturing your own emotions by steering clear of everybody else's emotions, and your intuition is kind of just like, no, I'm just going to look after me, and I'm just going to go chill and enjoy those, you know, because with the garden and the lady there, it's like I'm getting this reference to like a very posh, sophisticated, high tea kind of lady, you know, just sitting there sipping on her tea, and, you know, we're just going to be all fancy and drink tea, and then, oh, nighttime, oh, no, I'm a lady, it's time for me to go to bed and nurture myself and have my beauty sleep, and, you know, I'm not getting involved in the family craziness that's coming out at nighttime. So I'm going to sleep through all the family craziness. I don't need to be involved in that this year, is what I'm kind of picking up for you here, Libra. So, you know, that might be a bit of advice for you. Maybe focus on daytime energy with the family this year, and just sleep through the nights, because especially if the family's getting a bit emotional and rowdy, you don't I just feel like you're just like, I don't need to be dragged into that this year. So I'm just going to sleep on it, kind of thing. So very interesting, but that's what we have for you. You are more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Make sure you leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. And we will move on over to our Scorpios. Okay, Scorpio, what's going on for Scorpio this Easter with family? Scorpio, what does Scorpio need to know in regard to family? Crossroads. Ooh. Some big decisions coming through. The family's kind of moving on to new roads, you know, making choices and decisions that, you know, some people in the family are choosing to walk a different path to others, and lots of changes, I feel, for a lot of you coming through with the family, that this Easter period might be the first time that certain people haven't been there, or there's extra people there, big decisions being made around, where we want our family to move forward into. Pardon. So for some of you, I'm picking up that it might be the first kind of Easter that you're deciding to walk a different path away from your actual biological family. I'm getting for some of you here, focusing on your own family rather than your traditional family. There's some choices. I feel like for a lot of you too, I am getting a very relaxed feel coming through as well, like choosing to walk the easy way when it comes to the family, and choosing to not travel, or not go to the big event, or not even worry about all the stress of dealing with family at the moment. I feel like for a lot of you, you're kind of just like, I'm just going to have a chill Easter and focus on my immediate family rather than make it a big song and dance, which, a lot of people are doing that this year. I'm not going to lie. Scorpio, what's going on for Scorpio with family? Yeah, I just feel like a lot of you are sort of choosing to move maybe away from the family a little bit, following your own heart and what's right for you. Yeah, definitely, because we have the moon coming through here with the lilies following that. So it's kind of like, you there may be certain aspects of family that make you feel very vulnerable and make you feel like I'm always the child, and there's always people like telling me how I can and cannot feel when it comes to family, and you're kind of like, I don't even want to bother with that anymore. I just want to follow my own path, and my intuition is telling me to just look after my emotions. And if I'm going to this family function and there's a certain family member that always makes me feel like shit, well, I'm choosing to not go near that person this year. I'm choosing to, walk my own path and make my own future, and do what's right for my future and myself, and my long-term well-being emotionally, rather than what the family says I should do, kind of thing. We have the cross coming through as well. So I do feel as though for some of you, this is, the burden and emotional responsibility of family's religion, and you're choosing to walk away from that for some of you. So I'm definitely picking that up here. You're walking your own path this year. For a lot of you, you're choosing to stay on your own path and make your own decisions and nurture your own self, and not feel burdened by the family the way that you maybe have in the past, emotionally. Not feel as though you're responsible to, you have all these responsibilities on your shoulders that you have to walk a certain path. You're kind of like, nah, it's time for me to walk my own path and do what I need to do for me, and to nurture myself, and to trust my own intuition on my own self. And, especially when for some of you, this is to do with, your long-term spiritual self, and what's right for your highest good, spiritually, rather than what the family's religious beliefs maybe are telling you. So I do feel as though for some of you, this is specifically choosing to walk a different path when it comes to religious belief, um, because it's just not you. It's just not right for you, Scorpio. And that is fine. Like, there's so many different religions in this world, so many different beliefs. Like, beliefs is a very kind of individual thing. Even people that have the same religion, there's so many different colors of belief within all of those things. So belief and spirituality and religion is a very unique individual choice. And I feel like you're choosing to walk your own path this year when it comes to your beliefs and things like that. And you kind of know, like, you're kind of like, my intuition is telling me that this is destined to happen one way or another. So I'm going to do it on my terms, I'm going to walk my own path and just trust and have faith that this is what I need to do for me. And, you know, being very honest with your true self, I feel, which is, you know, lovely. I really, really, really aspire for that for you. It's amazing if that's what you're doing, choosing your own path rather than the path that's been handed to you, or given to you or told to you. I love that for you, Scorpio. All right, but you're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. And we will move on over to our Sagittarius. Okay, Sagittarius. Sagittarius. What does Sagittarius need to know right now in regard to family? What does Sagittarius need to know right now in regard to family? Mirage. Something is not as it seems within the family unit at the moment, Sagittarius. You're seeing something. I feel as though for a lot of you, you're like, this may be a bit of a harsh message, but you're seeing something that's not there. You have this image of what the family should be, could be, and it's just not that in reality. And it's time to maybe see through the illusion a little bit and to realize that that's not the reality. There's no oasis here, that this is, you know, maybe I do feel straight away for some of you, you've been hoping and kind of trying to see the best and trying to hope for the best and trying to see something that's not there, that you're trying to see somebody or some grouping of people that you're like, oh, they're my family. But like, are they really? A bit harsh, I know, but we'll see what the Lenormand wants to say here. Sagittarius. What does Sagittarius need to know right now in regard to family? Yeah. Okay, so firstly we have the masculine followed by the whip. All right, so I do feel as though this has got to do with a patriarchal type figure in the family, specifically for you here, Sagittarius, because that is followed by the child, which is you. I do feel like you're the child in this situation. It does feel like a patriarchal type energy. So whether that is a father, a grandfather, an uncle, or a very heavily masculine female in the family, they do feel older than you. They do feel as though it's like I'm getting a lot of punishment of this child, a lot of conflict and tension and drama, and it does feel like very much punishment, that it creates a lot of conflict within the child because the child just feels like they're being punished unfairly, unjustly. And it's got to do with the way that you view this person. I feel as though, you know, you're in this child energy, which is you're innocent. You've got the beautiful innocence, the naivety coming through here. And you want the best. You want this to be a great relationship. You want this to be, you know, a very loving, happy relationship. But there's a part of you that's realizing that it's kind of all for show, that it's a mirage, that it's an optical illusion. That the truth of this masculine is that maybe they do unfairly punish you for being you, for being, you know, I just feel as though you're kind of seeing through this particular person. I do feel for some of you here, it's actually a brother, an older brother type energy as well. And you've always kind of looked up to this person, but you're now kind of realizing that the view that you have had of this person is not 100% truthful, that they're just human. You know, I feel like for a lot of you, you've put a lot into this mirage of who this person is to you, and you've only ever allowed yourself to see the positive sides of this, and oh, well, if they're punishing me, it must be because I must have deserved it. You didn't. I feel like a lot of you are now starting to see the reality of this, and that it, the illusion that you've placed on this person is not the reality of this person, unfortunately. Why is this coming through for our Sagittarius, please? I'm just straight away, I'm like, I feel like it's time for a bit of a new beginning here. Yeah, because it needs to be put in the past. It actually stresses you out a lot more. It causes you a lot more anxiety than you realize. With the mice here, for some of you, this person has already left. Yeah. It's kind of like you're looking at a ghost of somebody that you're seeing this ghost as, oh, they were such a good masculine role model. But is that a childlike? Is that the reality? If they've already it's like, how when, because I am getting for some of you that this person has actually passed as well. But you know how like when somebody does pass away, and like everyone afterwards is like, oh, they were such a great person. What if they weren't? What if they weren't? Like I've seen this happen in my own life. Like after somebody has passed away, and all that anybody ever says about them is, oh, they were such a great person, why did they have to go so young and all this stuff? And it's like, but like you hated them. When they were alive, you absolutely hated that person. Why are you standing there telling me that they were such a great person, they didn't deserve this, da da da? Maybe it's because I'm a bad liar, and I just can't stand there and lie and say, oh, I really loved them, I really miss them, I can't lie like that. I'm like, so I'd rather just say nothing, because I'm not going to lie and say that they were a great person if I know that in their life they were not a great person. And I feel like you're kind of seeing through that mirage that, the truth is that they weren't. The truth is that they were human. Nobody's perfect. To err is to be human, right? So to make mistakes is to be human. I'm not saying that this person is a horrible person or a bad person. I'm just saying that they're not perfect, that they're not this mirage that you seem to have built up in your head of them being. Maybe they weren't as much of a mentor to you as you say to yourself that they were, and maybe they, it's kind of like you're looking at the ghost of somebody as though they're an angel, without actually recognizing that, hang on, they actually weren't. They actually used to ignore me and neglect me and all this, they were very distant and didn't want a bar of me, and it's just bringing all that sort of stuff to light, that you're kind of realizing how naive your view of this person has been, and that it's okay to see someone for what they really truly were, because nobody is perfect. Nobody is this beautiful angel image that we put on them after they've passed away. Nobody. There's a lot we don't see about people, and I don't know why people have this thing where they feel like the need to not be real and honest about who somebody was. It really irks me to think that people will do that about me when I pass, and I'm kind of like, no, you better stand up and say, no, she was a bitch sometimes. Like I'll be really upset if people don't be honest about who I am. And, it's part of being human, yeah? No one's perfect. You're not perfect. They weren't perfect either. So I don't know why we're getting such a strong message like that. But it feels like that's kind of at the forefront for you with your family at the moment. And that's what's coming through here. You're more than welcome to check other placements if that's not resonating for you personally. Make sure you do leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading as well. And we will move on over to our Capricorns. Okay, Capricorn. What is going on for our Capricorns with family? Family. What does Capricorn need to know about family over Easter? Family for Capricorn. Oh, we just had this for Sagittarius, so you may be on the cusp here. Some of you, we have the Mirage card. I'm like, I just shuffled the hell out of that, and we still had the exact same one that I'm actually getting the opposite energy as what we saw for Sagittarius, though. It's kind of like you're too much of a realist, Capricorn. I just want to clarify that before we jump into details on that, because, you know, the way that went for Sagittarius, I just want to make sure we're clarifying that energy for you, Capricorn. Capricorn, what's going on for Capricorn with family? What does Capricorn need to know right now in regard to family, please? It's Mirage energy. Interesting. So firstly, we have the crossroads coming through here. So I'm getting like you're kind of choosing which part of this mirage you're seeing, whether you're seeing the real or whether you're choosing to see the mirage. You know, are you seeing just desert around you, or are you seeing a beautiful tropical oasis off in the future? It's kind of, when it comes to your family, you're kind of at this crossroads, I suppose, of, you know, how do I choose to see them? How do I choose to see these people? Do I choose to see them as the oasis, or do I choose to see them as the desert? I'm getting elements of both coming through. I am getting, you know, I am still picking up here that you're very much a realist, Capricorn, and there's a big part of you that wants to focus only on the desert because you know that that's the real, right? And you don't want to allow the optical illusion to take hold, kind of thing. But it's kind of like I do feel as though you're choosing to allow certain aspects to be glossed over a little bit here. And even though you know the truth of what your family is and who these people are, there's certain elements where you're allowing the mirage to gloss over the full truth. Don't mind me, I'm feeling a sneeze. We have the book coming through here. So it's kind of like, it's kind of this choice of where we're going with this family as well. Like, do I choose to just see barren desert, or do I choose to, you know, learn a little bit more about these people and open myself up a little bit more to these people, so that the next chapter, you know, it's kind of like you're very much very aware that you write your own story here, that you're the author of your next chapter, and it's really up to you which way the story goes. There's a big part of you, though, you know, we have the scythe coming through, which is, you know, a sudden break from, you know, any illusions that you have been holding over yourself, and you when it comes to the illusions that you're placing on your family, kind of breaking free from allowing that illusion to not be recognized. At least you still have the ability to choose whether you're allowing that to sort of blur the edges a little bit or not, but you are kind of breaking free from pretending that it's real. You're accepting. I kind of feel like it's an acceptance. And I do feel that for some of you, this is specifically to do with your role in the family, that, you have been, there's been this, it's kind of been like a fighting energy. Which direction do I trust here? Do I feel like this barren desert, or do I feel like the mirage, this oasis? And that within your own self, like, do I allow myself to, really learn my place in the family, because, or do I allow myself to believe the mirage that I'm? Feels a bit harsh here, Capricorn, and it's going to make me cry because it does resonate a little bit for myself as well. But you're breaking free of the need to be important. The need to see yourself as this oasis, that these people see me as important, that these people see me as part of the family. And you're kind of realizing that you're kind of not, but you are. Like, it's a on-off energy here. You're kind of trying to be a little bit more realistic with your placement in the family, and understand that, I keep getting that phrase, you're not as important as you think you are. And I don't want to be giving this message, Capricorn, because it's kind of trying to tell me that you think you're just on equal footing with everyone else in the family. But they don't necessarily see you that way. And I feel like that's why this is such a fight for you, Capricorn, because you've felt this already. You've already picked up on this, and you already know that for some reason you are kind of like a separate entity, all on your own. Because of you being a Capricorn, we have the mountain coming through as well. You're a mountain all by yourself. It's like, no matter how much work you put into this family, that there's still always going to be this blockage stopping you from being the same. That there's always a distance, a coldness to you that is perceived by the family, whether it exists or not. It's kind of like, and this is such a harsh message, and I don't want to be giving this message, like, because it's your choice, whether you choose to accept this or not. It's your choice whether you choose to accept that you are a little bit standalone when it comes to your family. They see you as so strong and capable all by yourself that they don't think that you need them, Capricorn. So it's kind of like you choose to proceed one way or another from here. Some of you may be choosing to break free from energies that don't treat you as well as they treat other people in the family. Breaking free from people that treat you differently in a positive way. Like, maybe you are actually breaking free and standing alone the way that they're making you feel. Because it does feel like this is how you feel already anyway. Why is this being shown for Capricorn, please? You're not just trying to F with me, right? Part of your journey, Capricorn. We have the ship and then the tree. Part of your journey of self. Learning more, growing more. Being a little bit maybe more honest with yourself about your place in the family. That maybe you aren't as important as you think you are. And maybe that's okay. Maybe that's just part of the journey. Maybe it's time, like, you're a Capricorn. You can look after yourself anyway, right? This is self-care, looking after yourself, growth, healing. Maybe this enables you to heal in some kind of way, to see through that illusion and find yourself in a different kind of a way. What's the positive of this for Capricorn, please? Because this is harsh. What's the positive of this, please? The heart. Help you understand love and help you understand unconditional love. I think, Capricorn. This is growth. It's part of the journey. It's kind of like everything I've just said is that you're not as important as you think you are, but that doesn't mean that you're not loved. But, you know, that doesn't mean that you're not still a part of this family. It's not a be-all, end-all. It's not all or nothing. It's maybe understanding that love is varied and love is many shades, and you don't have to be that important, Capricorn, to be loved. Maybe it's another way of taking care of yourself and loving yourself and understanding that you don't have to be that important. Maybe you've put yourself in this role of being responsible and you don't need to be. Maybe it's to let you know that, you know what, these people love you anyway. Even if you're not as important as you want to be, or you're not, because I feel like for a lot of you Capricorn too, it's it's, oh, my job's not as good as everyone else's. I'm not as this much. I'm not as much that. I'm not as this. I'm not as good as that. Da, da, da. Maybe it's to make you understand that those are your expectations, and you're not as important as you think you are. Like as in, these people don't have the same expectations that you have for yourself, Capricorn. They love you just the way you are. I'm glad we got to that, because I think I was a little bit clouded by my own tears, because it does feel like that's what's kind of going on here. That when I'm saying that you're not as important as you think you are, it's because you try too hard to be better and to be all of this stuff, but those are your expectations, and these people love you anyway. So maybe the mirage is thinking that it matters in the first place. If you're somehow separate to the family, maybe it's you that has kept yourself separate because of your own expectations on self, without just realizing that, do you know what, you're not separate, because you have unconditional love just as much as everybody else does. Deep, Capricorn. Let me know in the comments if that resonates for you guys as well, because I don't want that to be my own energy overtaking there, because that was a little bit personal as well, being a Capricorn. I do specify before I start my readings that I'm seeking collective energy rather than my own. I try to keep my own ish out of things, but that got a little bit personal, and it was quite a deep message as well. So I would love if you could let me know if that resonated for you, Capricorn. You will go in the entry for that free personal reading if you do leave a comment anyway. You're more than welcome to check out other placements, and we will move on over to Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius, what's going on for Aquarius? Woo! That was more than I wanted, so we'll just keep shuffling and ask more specifically, throwing them at me, Aquarius. What's going on? Okay, Aquarius, family, on the subject of family. What does Aquarius need to know right now in regard to family? Just one card, please. Aquarius. We have the Vision. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. It's gonna be a bright. I feel like that's a positive energy. But I feel like there's a lot going on with family at the moment for you. You know, you were throwing quite a few cards at me there. That does look like a horse's eye. So for some of you, there may be some sort of significance with horses. Vision, seeing clearly. What's going on for Aquarius with family? It's very weird. I feel like it's like seeing the truth of what. Yeah. Especially with this person. Firstly, we have the stork coming through, and then we have the masculine energy. All right, so it does feel as though this is specifically to do with the masculine energy, that you are sort of seeing them a lot more clearly. Maybe there's something happening. Maybe you're learning something about this person. We have the book there as well. We are learning something about this person that enables us to see very clearly, you know, who this person is and what they represent within the family, within ourselves. You know, the stork here shows us that it's like new ideas being stirred up. So something new being learnt, a new idea of a new idea or ideal of who this person is, and we're kind of getting the facts of this now. So we're seeing a lot more clearly, you know, what this person means to us, what we mean to this person, who this person really is. I had a similar energy. I can't remember what sign it was for. Maybe Gemini? No. I can't remember now which sign that was actually for. But we're seeing that this masculine is like probably a very intelligent, learned type person, very educated type person, very logical, rational type person, and that's what we're kind of seeing about them now. On the bottom of the deck, I do have the fox coming through, so we're kind of seeing how I think that this is what's getting stirred up within this masculine energy. Is we're kind of seeing that this person comes from a very logical, rational place. That this person is very, once again, very intelligent, but also, you know, it suits their own needs. It's not emotional, okay? It's very muchly like factual. This person, they're very factual. They're very do what they need to do to get what they need out of a situation. You know, very independent, and like I'm just kind of picking up that for some of you, this is somebody within the family that you have like looked up to, and you've felt that there's a lot of emotional connection between you and this person, but you're now just kind of realizing that it's not necessarily emotional connection. It's something that has served their purpose to make you believe that there's a strong emotional connection. Why are we seeing this for Aquarius, please? There's some sort of argument, some sort of fight, and they're not seeing, you know, they're very steadfast in their opinion and their viewpoint here. I am getting a couple of other signs, energy coming through here. I've got Taurus, I've got Cancer, I've got Sagittarius coming through strongly here. But yeah, so we've got the bouquet there as well. So it's kind of like you are starting to be able to really understand and see that this person is serving their own purpose, that they're not giving as much as what you are to the relationship, or they're giving in a very different way to the relationship to how you give to it. Because I'm just sort of intuitively picking up that you're very, it's an emotional connection. You give a lot of love and emotion, energy to this connection, whereas this person actually does not. They give logical, factual, what serves their purposes kind of energy. So it's kind of it's kind of one-sided in a lot of ways here, especially emotionally. It does seem to be very one-sided, and you're sort of starting to see that very, very clearly, of how certain things that this person has done and said serve their own purpose, rather than serving any emotional connection between yourself and this person. It's kind of like a gift in a way, though. Like there is a positive here because it's allowing you to now, for you to now actually become a lot more mature and factual about the relationship, and not be hurt by the fact that this person doesn't give in the same way that you give. It allows you to understand this person on a different kind of a level. And it's kind of a gift from the universe to see this now about this person, rather than to continue believing something about somebody that is not true. Sometimes all we want is the truth. Yeah, and this is kind of what's coming through, Aquarius, is that you're seeing the truth, of who this person is to you, for you. And it may not be the nicest feeling, not going to lie. It stirs up some, tension and drama within you. But it also helps you move forward knowing the truth, and not hiding the truth from yourself anymore, when it comes to this person. So I do feel like it was Sagittarius that got a very similar reading, but like I said, I was picking up quite a few different energies there. But at the end of the day, it's enabling you to help you find your own happiness here. So you're not living in an illusion anymore, about the situation. So I do feel as though it's kind of wrapped up in maybe a fight, or sense of being unfairly, unjustly punished, or unfair tension. But in the long run, it's actually, things coming to light in order to allow you to find your own happiness, and not continue to believe a distorted version of the truth. Sometimes the truth hurts. I'm not gonna say that it's not like that, because it does feel like it may be like that for some of you here. But it's kind of that energy. But at the end of the day, I feel like you would rather know the truth than believe a lie. And that's what we have there. But you're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you leave a comment so you go in the draw for that free personal reading as well. And we will move on over to our Pisces. Okay, Pisces. Pisces, what's going on for Pisces with family? What does Pisces need to know in regard to family over Easter, please? The ephemeral card. This is a very interesting energy. The ephemeral talks about the translucence of like the wings on the bug here. It's like being able to see clearly through something, seeing through something, but with this beautiful sheen overlaid. This very ephemeral, very like it's like from another world. It's like very spiritual kind of energy where it's very translucent so you can see clearly, but it's got this beautiful sheen of something otherly, over the top. So it does It does go a few different ways, this particular card. So we'll have a look here and see what's going on with that for you, Pisces. Pisces, what's going on for Pisces with family? What does Pisces need to know in regard to family, please? Definitely spiritual connections coming through here with the family. We do have the dog coming through first. So we do see, you know, loyalty and understanding and compassion coming through strongly here, you know, linked up with the cross. So it's no longer your responsibility to, you know, be understanding and compassionate of your family. It's part of your destiny. It's part of your spiritual connection is to, you know, have those you know, to have those people as companions in this lifetime, as to have those people, you know, understand you in a way that other people don't understand you. There's something very beautiful about this. You know, we do see that it's a bug, right? It's a bug. So a lot of people are going to say, oh, bugs are not beautiful, but there's something about this translucence, this shiny, you know, things. We especially think about dragonflies, for example. Quite often picturesque as beautiful, but really they're just a little bug underneath, right? But it's kind of you seeing the beauty in the mundane and the mundane family, and knowing that, you know, they're there by my side, they're going to walk by my side, they're going to support me when I need support, you know, they're going to be my strength when I need strength. We have the bear here as well. So a lot of spiritual strength, a lot of spiritual power from having this energy in your world here, knowing too that, you know, it's very connected to teamwork and, you know, seeing through the individual as to see the whole. So there's, once again, I keep getting this very spiritual, religious kind of energy coming through here, on top of all the teamwork and loyalties and companionship and understanding that you all share. It leads to you being a stronger version of yourself, having this support system of your family. Once again, I want to mention, you know, family is not necessarily the family you were born into. It's the family that you've created for yourself, Pisces, and that's what gives you strength. That's what it gives you power. That's what enables you to stand so tall and strong. And for some of you, it's kind of like I am getting an energy here of defending the family's honor is coming through for some reason, that you're taking a lot of control and power, knowing that the family's got your back and you're able to, you know, stand your ground and defend and protect this unit in a kind of way that is very spiritual in a lot of ways. It's very there's a lot of destiny and trusting and having faith in these people, and knowing that, you know, even when we drive each other insane, that's part of my strength, that's part of my honor, is to have these people around me supporting me and enabling me to be such a strong person within my own self. You know, so it does feel like it's a very gratitude for the strength that the family unit provides you over Easter here, Pisces. And even if for some of you, I feel like even if you don't have a family, so to speak, to know that that is what's giving you your strength and your will to survive, I suppose, and you know, that you want to protect yourself and what's yours, and there's a beautiful spiritual layer to that as well, that, you know, whatever foundation you've come from when it comes to family, that this is part of your destiny and this is part of what has, you know, inspired and strengthened you to be able to be the person that you are. So I do feel as though this is a strong period of gratitude for the family that you have around you at this time. All right, so lovely to end on a beautiful note. We've had some rough energies, not going to lie, but you're more than welcome to check out your other placements. Make sure you do leave a comment so you go in the draw for that free personal reading as well. We're drawing that very, very soon after tomorrow's reading, so make sure you do leave a comment, all right? But hopefully I'll see you all again soon.